Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Voodoo 15 here as usual, and I've decided that someone brought up Foster B, I believe it was, brought it up to me. It's like, hey, aren't you going to do some videos over the airplanes? You know, like a tutorial, kind of walk folks through airplanes. I was like, oh, yeah, I'd been thinking about it, but I just hadn't got around to doing it. So here I am. And this evening what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through the A6M2, the A6M3 Model 32, and the A6M5B. And these aircraft are similar, but not the same. They look the same. They have different engines, they have different guns, and they operate differently. They may have roughly the same name, but they're different models or later models. And they're pretty good overall, and especially if you know how to use them. I have my gun set up 275 and pull that back to 250. Anyway, you have two 20mm and two 7.7s on your A6M2. I have it set out. We'll keep 50% go juice, 300-liter drop tank, and a couple of 50-kilogram or 100-pound equivalent bombs. Not a real heavy loadout, but not a bad one either. I'm going to go ahead and drop this to 25% and show you what this little rascal will really do. I'm going to take off northeast here. It's recently updated, so the model looks pretty good. Just updated and everything, and so what I'm gonna do now is like let my stuff stop lagging, and then I'm gonna kind of take it up, and I'm gonna just walk you through some basic stuff. Zero is an excellent turn fighter, but it's very weak. You can't take a whole lot of damage. It doesn't have self-sealing fuel tanks, and it likes to burn rather easily. So a little airspeed here. Has a pretty good roll rate. I'll go ahead and take it through one right now. It's not too shabby. If you keep it low speed, under 200 miles an hour, it handles very, very well. This is at full throttle, and I'm just pulling right on around. I mean, I've circled right on around to about 150 miles an hour. Not too bad at all. It's 20mm. They fire a little slow, and you only got about 120 rounds of it, or 120 rounds, what you got. If you're real close and you get in close, you can still use those MGs to take out targets. View out the 6 o'clock is good. Out the top as well. Left and right is also good once you get it set up. In a dive, the aircraft gets real stiff on the controls, and it will fall apart after probably the 350. I think is as fast as I've ever dove down. How's it going, Blizzny? But all in all, it's a real good aircraft. If you're looking for a little bit of a target practice, I wouldn't mind getting shot. Let's see what old Blizzny's in. It's Fit 16. Now, the cool thing about this aircraft versus the other two Zeeks is the fact that you can flap. And it has all three aircraft have notches of flaps, but this aircraft seems to operate the best when you are able to flap it, and it actually helps you. You can pitch up. Let me help this guy out, and then I'll get right back with y'all. Okay, so what we've learned so far is that this little aircraft is maneuverable, but can't take a lot of damage. But in used in the correct way, it's pretty good. I'm gonna kind of try to stick to this guy. Chop throttle. I'm gonna pull back on him. And right here, I'd have a solution. I'm gonna cut. I got a lot of rudder into the right. I have rudder into the right still. Throttle, and the rudder keeps my nose kind of pitched out so that I can still see him. I have no rudder in now. And right here, I mean, you're just you're just stitching this dude. He's just in a world of hurt. He rolled back, which is cool. I'm gonna pitch up, a lot of left rudder. I'm gonna just stay with him. He's doing a lot of maneuvering, but I'm just farting around back here. If he stays in a flat turn, he's done. Now, once somebody sees you and they really know what they're up to, they'll utilize their plane's superior climbing ability. But at this range, he really can't do anything. He just doesn't. He doesn't have enough time to actually do anything. He might try and snap roll, so all you gotta do is just chop your throttle a little bit, watch your controls, just float in here. You just see how almost effortlessly you start to head towards the ground. You just kind of let off on the throttle and then increase it as you come in. And 9 times out of 10, when you latch hold to a 16, and you get on them, they instantly start turning because they're used to being able to out-turn stuff. Now he can't pull away from you, but right here you're just like boop, 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 just stitching him. And there's no way he'd make it out of that. What's that, your comms? Or the airplane itself? See, now he's going to come in from this way. I'm going to chop throttle. No rudder. And I'm going to just yo-yo into him. And boom, right there. Yeah, I got my, my F12 is slave to my joystick. So far you hadn't even, after that first time you talked, you haven't even lit up again, so just gotta make sure you're mashing that right button and then speaking into your microphone. Alright. Gunning a couple targets here, just to show you what this rascal sounds like. And you see just how fast that that cannon gets ate up. I'll pitch up, I'm gonna break into him, a lot of rudder. You can snap roll these aircraft really easy, but they're almost as easy to correct as a Brewster. I mean, they just very, very good aircraft. Almost all the way around, except for the fact that they're very, very weak in armor. And as long as you maintain your SA, your situational awareness, and keep those stiff angles. Like right there, you know, if he could have pulled in, he would have tried to pull in, and he might have got a shot on you. Just make it very, very difficult. Make yourself a small target, and try to get him into a turn fight like this. You want them in around 500 yards. You want them to try and turn with you, because once you have them turning with you, then they're in trouble. They just don't know it. Now, a lot of times, guys that are smart, they'll try to make you overshoot. So I'm closing. I'm gonna dump throttle, and I'm a rudder. I'm gonna just kind of pull my nose up a little bit and just watch as I just drift right in behind him. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, you just lay right into that guy. And it operates well at low speeds. I'm going to do some flapping here. And I just barely applied throttle, and the nose reacted. Very good, solid little airplane. Lots of fun to fly, especially off of a CV if you got just a short fight and you're not having to fight too many folks. Real good, solid aircraft. Not a whole lot of complaints about it if you fly it right, how it's designed to be flown in a turn fight. Good aircraft, decent guns. You do have to watch once you run out of cannon, you'll be out, and then you're down to BBs. I've shot down aircraft with BBs. It can be done. Work wings, work at the ring where the wing itself attaches to the aircraft. Just work right there. Just keep hitting them in that same spot. Wing will come off. Just stay in and lay into them. Alright, the next plane will be the A6M3. See you in just a minute. A6M3, which is essentially a 2 with clip wings. Now, I'm not an expert on any kind of aircraft. I just know that it's essentially a 0 with clipped wings on the end. So it has a higher roll rate. I just kind of know how to fly it. I'm not any kind of Japanese airplane expert guy. It's roughly the same in every manner, but it has clip wings. It rolls a little bit better, and it controls a lot differently than the A6M2. It's a lot better maneuverable. You know, it maneuvers a lot better, but it's essentially the same aircraft. Still a good one though. We'll take off northeast and let's see what we can do with this rascal. As you'll notice now, you have 200 rounds of cannon. I think the cannons are a better model as well. You still have the same amount of 7.7s. You have 2 20mm in the wings and 2 7.7s in the nose. I don't know whose skin this is. Anyway, essentially same setup. Good visibility out of the front, out of the sides, and to the 6 o'clock. High maneuverability, very low damage taking. Flame pretty quickly. Oh my gosh, I gotta change that wheel sound. We got a little airspeed here. And what we're gonna do, let's try a roll right quick. See how it's just instantly faster. Instantly faster. It's an amazing little airplane. I love this little plane. You're talking just roll and roll and roll for days. You keyed up, sir, but I got no voice.
I was just looking to see if it highlighted.
It did, and I can hear you loud and clear. Anyway, we'll whoop him behind a 16. You can dump throttle and kind of pitch your nose out, do a little bit of a roll. As you can see, it's just with some rudder control and a little bit of throttle, it's just super responsive. You just take it around trees, over bushes, through hills, all the way to Grandma's house if you want. Let's see if I can get it through this hanger right here without crashing. Oh, Shiza. I made it through. I mean, that's all that counts. Ace is high, that kind of choppy right now. Overall, same plane. Very stiff when you dive with it. Oh my gosh, I gotta change those sounds out. That thing sounds horrible. Anyhow, again, good overall maneuverability wise. Even more maneuverable than the A6M2. Guns are slightly better. You have a little bit more cannon. And overall, just a lot better aircraft. I prefer to fly this one out of...
How long have you been playing this thing?
4 years? 5 maybe? It's been a bit. Not nearly as long as other folks, but a little while. We'll jump in the A6M5B 2762.
Somebody named Rolex said they were going to meet me.
Rolex is the head trainer. If he says he's going to meet you in here, then at some point he'll be in here. Anyway, let me tower out here. I'll be back out in just a second. So essentially the A6M series are very maneuverable. The A6M5B is the biggest, the most robust, has the best guns, the best setup. It's not as maneuverable as the A6M3, but it's still a tough plane, and it's very dangerous if you I don't know what's killing my frame rate right now. What's up? Anyway, very robust. This one, it's a lot more. You still have the two 7.7s. You're less on your MG, but you have 250 rounds of cannon. Cannon is good. Aircraft maneuvers. The roll rate is better than the 2, but less than the 3. Your turn radius is still good. It's actually probably one of the best, just flat turning planes. But you still have the power that you can actually outmaneuver. You can actually use that power to outmaneuver Brewsters, Buffaloes, Hurricanes, Hurricane 1s. The 2Cs, if the guy knows what he's up to and you mess up, you will get dusted. And essentially it's a good plane. You can actually go out into a late war fight and you can actually engage people and shoot them down. Now, I mean, you can engage people and shoot them down with almost anything. He's right here, so I'm going to kind of pitch up, chop throttle. I'm going to just do a little roll here. And as I come out of the roll, I'm going to increase throttle. I'm going to decrease throttle. I'm going to let about 50%. I'm going to just continue my roll with him until I feel that I'm in a good position. I'm continually decreasing throttle. And now increasing. And now I'm behind him. And so you can go from a position of advantage to disadvantage real quickly, and vice versa. He broke the right, I'm going to dump throttle. And I'm going to stay with him. And I'm going to go ahead and pull like I was going to make a shot on him. I'm shooting blind. He's rolled again. That's the thing you have to watch out about. At least for me, I don't look over the cockpit, so I like to keep him in front of me. And I don't... Ooh, he just barely made it out of that. And so right here, boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 right there. He's going to try and kind of roll, do a little bit of goofiness. Right there. Increase throttle. Right in there. Just you'd be whooping all over that fuselage and wings right in there. You just want to keep him in sight. The main thing is when you're doing this, you're not going very fast. Like I'm only doing about 150 miles an hour, so you need to keep that checks out your 6. He's going to try and roll. What you have to watch out for is guys will get so nervous they'll crash into the ground, and if you're low enough, you'll crash right behind them. Especially on low on the deck fights, like say if somebody was on me, we'll whoop around here, and I start looking for trees to put between me and him, like this cluster of trees right here. So I'm going to increase throttle, I'll whoop in, and I'm going to whoop behind this cluster of trees. This is going to block bullets. It's going to block airplanes. People get nervous around these trees. So the more and more you can control your airplane at low altitude, and you want to look back, you want to, you know, maintain it and be watching for clusters of trees past that point. But essentially, aircraft's really good. If you really just want to roll it, you just dump that throttle a little bit and then come on in. Come on in on it as you make your turn. Now he's in a, what is he, in a 9? And look, you're just a 1. And you're just on him. Boom, 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 boom. And you're just lighting him up. You can essentially do this with all your Zeeks. Throttle control is really important because the torque really affects this airplane because it's so light. But essentially, be watching for an opportunity, check your 6, and keep your bad guys in front of you, and just do. And even your high turning planes, as long as you maintain, like he's not going to make that. Nope. And of course, practice. The longer you're up in the air, the more times you fight with that aircraft, the more and more proficient you'll get with it. So we'll go over what we got. The A6M2 is the worst out of them all, but it can be used very well. It flaps the best because of the way it handles. You use rudder and lots of throttle to control and point that aircraft where you want. It uses up its 20mm cannons very quickly, so you have to make your shots count. Your 303s can, your 7.7s can still bring aircraft down. You have to make your shots count, but you have a lot of them, so you just work wing routes where right here, where your wing attaches to the fuselage of your aircraft. Make sure that if you have an enemy that dives away from you, wait for an opportunity to attack them, because you may not, in a dive, your controls get really stiff, and you may tear off your wings, especially if you start to pull. Over 350 miles an hour, you want to be very, very careful with how quickly you pull on your controls, because you pull real fast and you're going to tear stuff off of with any of the Zeeks. And enemies will use this against you. You see how I just dump throttle and I'm right with him. Like, there, I mean, that's his lunch. He's done. No way is the Spitfire going to walk away from that at that close. It just, no, not going to happen with any of the Zeeks. So it's practice. Highly maneuverable, like to burn, really quick like. So as long as you can keep them bullets away from you, you're good. Doesn't dive very well, turns like a son of a gun. With your more advanced models like the 5 and the 3, you can use that increased energy that's produced by your motor because of the light airframe to stay in behind these smaller term fighters like the Hurricane or the Brewster. You can use that to actually pitch up above them and out climb them in the vertical. Sometimes if the Hurricane pilot's good though, or a Brewster pilot's good, they can hide that E from you and they can engage you, so be careful with that business. Well, I hope this has been informative for you, and if you have any questions or comments or corrections for me because I said something silly, because I can be wrong, please just post them in the bottom, and yeah, I'll fix it or put in more info or answer your questions. As usual, suggestions or comments. You want to see an airplane get carried through some kind of an attack or something? Like, hey, I want to see you, you know, do some kind of business on something else. Oh, it got close right there. Just let me know, and I'll hook you up. As usual, I'm here for y'all. I've enjoyed flying on this game for, like I said, 2 or 3 years now, 4 or 5, I don't know. I've been flying on it for a while. I enjoy this game. I love this game. There's so much stuff about this game. It's amazing. There's sometimes where you just get pissed off. Other times it's lots of fun. But perseverance, stick with it, hang with it. And I was crashing into tanks and blowing myself up with ordnance and doing all sorts of stuff 2 or 3 years ago, and look at me now. Just all over this guy's stuff. It doesn't take too long. You just stick with it. Main thing is be checking your 6 o'clock, because the Zeke, they like to bust you from behind, dive in on you and get you. SA is always important. See, just no matter what he does. Now if he tried to snap roll, maybe he might be able to do it, but he hadn't quite picked that up yet. So No, it's a 5. That's a Spitfire right there. The way you can tell is on the underside of the belly, when you're behind them. You see that piece of square, that square thing on the right-hand wing, just underneath him? That's a radiator. On a Spit 9, there are 2 of them. On a Spit 1 and a 5, there's only 1 on the right-hand side. That long tube on the right-hand side or left-hand side is an oil cooler, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you see how he's got those pointy guns coming out of the wings? That means those are 20 millimeters. So he looks like a Spit 1 because he's got only 1 radiator. But he's got guns on him, which means he's a 5. See, I just dump throttle, and boom, he's right with me. Or I'm right with him, rather. And if not, just a little bit of yo-yo, a little bit of roll. Oop, he broke into me. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm gonna just pitch up. Continue to roll. Use that engine torque to whoop my nose all the way over. Reduce throttle to increase my turn radius. Increase throttle as I come around the apex of my turn there. I'm gonna re-engage him. He's at 500 yards, which at this point I'm bad about shooting folks, especially since they don't know. So, and little ping there. Yeah, just let him know you're back there. And da 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 da, right through there. And boom, boom, boom. The rudder jump there. Hold on a second. Right there. Boom, boom, boom. Little nose down. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. He wants to dump throttle. Let me use my extra speed, and I'm gonna pitch up above him. And he's gonna break into me, so I'm gonna roll, decrease throttle, and then roll again. Throttle's at about 25%. So he's going to cut that angle on me. I'm going to just hold about 25%. Now increasing to full. I'm going to continue my roll, decreasing throttle about 25. Going to about 100% now. 100%. Continue to pull. Got a little bit of shudder there. Decrease throttle so I can continue my turn. I'm going to roll with him. He's not going to make it. I hope you've learned something from this. If not, tell me that I suck and I need to do better. You're not going to hurt my feelings. And hope you've taken something away from this. And I'll be doing more of them. And if I don't do them fast enough, or you want a particular plane shown, PM me or catch me in the in the MA or anywhere else. If you see me on, just say, "Hey, Voodoo, I'm freaking such and such, and I've seen your videos on YouTube, and I want to talk to you." I'll talk to anybody, it don't matter. I'll help anybody, anywhere, anytime. So feel free to ask me. And I'll give you a hand. I hope this has helped you out. And again, any questions, feel free to ask. YouTube, find me on the forums, look for me in the game. I fly Bishop, I fly with the Flying Circus, Voodoo 15, VUDU15. And I'll do what I can for you. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the air soon.